Hello, this is Joanne Ewing with Reach the Unlimited, and I wanted to take a few minutes in the middle of my day, almost the middle of my day, and do a reading on what we should be aware of about blessings for the day. I can't get enough of these Namaste cards, and I just felt like I wanted to do another reading on them today and find out what we need to be aware of. What should be in our awareness today when it comes to what we are blessed with? A lot of times we don't even realize how blessed we are because we can get caught up in the day to day life and the stresses and the whatevers. And we forget that there's so many. Hi, Jacqueline. I was thinking about you this morning. There's so many blessings around us, and we don't really pay attention to that because we get so caught up in the busyness of the day or the stress of our lives or what we should be doing or not doing or what's not happening or is happening. We always tend to go to the negative. I don't know about you, but I always tend to go to the negative versus the positive, which I'm working on very much. But let's see what Spirit wants to say today. What should we be aware of and think about when it comes to blessings? Ooh, that's pretty. I don't think that. Good stuff. Always. I don't know. You just came into my awareness this morning. This is really pretty. I don't know if we've had this one before. Look at that. That's really pretty. Very Van Goghish, I would say. Very pretty. That has just all kinds of potential, doesn't it? This is a blessing from the light. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. The blessing from the light. I was just thinking about how you were doing, what's going on. I haven't talked to you in a long time. All good stuff. Just thinking about you. Okay, for today, you are dearly loved. How many of you need to hear that today? That is so important for us to remember that we are dearly loved. I was working with someone today who I felt so sorry for because in her energy, she was just really missing that connection, that love. She was like working so hard for it instead of realizing that it's always there. We are the ones that disconnect from that love. We're the ones that have the doubt or the programming that goes on in our heads. It's not really true. Yet love is always there for us. So that's what I love about this particular heart challenge. And go you, Tina. She's definitely the winner of this particular challenge because she has been there every day. And if you haven't read her comment today, do that. I was actually late today because I just got up and started working. I'm like, oh, I forgot my heart today. I got to put my heart. I got to post my heart, which my heart today is kind of an interesting thing. I was walking and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, how many times have I passed that little patch of grass? And I never realized it was a heart. And it was the way I came onto it where I saw the tip and I'm like, oh my God, that's a heart, but it's kind of overgrown. So, hearts come in many different ways and sizes. I know, Jacqueline, I realized that you hadn't posted in a while. What I love about it is that it's intuitive. It's just, are you inspired, right? It's not about, this challenge isn't about posting every day. And if you read what Tina said, it wasn't about posting every day. She said she never realized that she was competitive until this, but this is a passion of hers. And that's why I did this. It doesn't matter if you post or not. It's being aware that that love is always around us, just like what this is saying, right? You are dearly loved. And yet we don't remember that, especially when things get hard. I'm totally on board with that one. I can easily forget and have a woe is me attitude. But we're always loved and we have to trust what's happening. And that is not easy. If you watched the interview yesterday, that was clearly spoken about. We are always loved, even in the times that we don't feel like we're loved. And we have to have trust, even though it's hard to have trust sometimes to move forward. And we've all been there. We always are loved more than you can possibly imagine. Think about that. In our human lives, even when we're loved by human people, we can sometimes really feel that depth and that connection of that love. But when you think about spirit, and I know I feel this when I'm connecting to spirit on the other side, and especially connecting loved ones together, Sometimes the love that you feel is so overwhelming that it's hard to even speak. It's hard to express even sometimes. I get that quite often where I'm getting this wave of just this energy of love because that person that has passed just wanted to share so deeply the love that they have for that person they're communicating with. And it is beyond what we can even imagine, beyond what we can even feel, which is amazing. So, more than you can imagine, and you never are alone. And that's important for us, right? It's important for us to feel the love, but it's also important for us to remember that we're never alone. And I get that a lot when I'm working with people when they want to connect with their loved ones. And they always ask, and I've said this before, I get this so many times, are they there? Do they see me? Do they care about me? Do they know I miss them? They're always with us. They always are hearing us, and they always are watching over us, and they're participating in our life as much as we allow them to do that. And that's what's important to know, that we are extremely loved. And it may not always feel that way. And I don't know if somebody really needs to hear this, but you are loved and you are important to the world. I know that a lot of people lately have been feeling kind of, like, am I worth it? Am I worthy? Should I be here? What is the point of being here? I mean, it can feel that way in this world sometimes because we have the ups and we have the downs. But spirit on the other side, whether it be your guides or your angels or your loved ones, they're always there and they always support and love you. And we may not always feel it, but you have to trust that they are. Aw, Jacqueline. Okay. A universe of love and light surrounds you and shows you with blessings, the ebbs and they flows. What did we just talk about, right? The ebbs and the flows in your heart. Here's the heart for today, Jacqueline. Here it is right here. It's that ebb and that flow that comes within us. And we always really can feel their love, whether we are a medium, whether we are connected psychically, whether we just don't know, we still can feel their love and how they watch over us. And I love that because the blessings that ebb and flow in your heart. So pay attention to that when you're feeling down. Pay attention to that when you're feeling like things aren't working out your way, that things aren't exactly as you want it. And sometimes that's the hardest time to really trust because we want what we want, but sometimes it's not for us. Boy, do I wish I could go back to that September 23rd or 4th, whatever friggin' day it was. Anyway, hence I digress and go the other way, right? The ebb and the flow. That was like I wasn't listening. I was hearing, but I wasn't listening. Anyway, hence I digress. But the point is that it's okay, even if we do something that may be not in alignment to us, because they're still supporting us no matter what. And that's the love, right? Even when they're going, no, no, don't do it. It's stupid. Go the other way. Don't do it. This isn't going to work out. I can't tell you how many people told me that. Oh my God. But I didn't listen. I needed to take that journey for me. It wasn't about anybody else. It was about my journey and the ebbs and flows that came from that. And what I learned from that is going to be with me for lifetimes. And that's the beauty of our life, that we're here to live. And that's the blessing that we don't always want to look at, especially when we're in the middle of something that really sucks. We don't want to look at it because it sucks and it's painful. But love is always there for us, and spirit is always there for us. We have so many energies on the other side that are supporting and helping us no matter what. And sometimes they are. I can imagine. I always tell people that know me have heard this. I call it the great cafe in the sky. I feel like we're all going to meet back up in my world. We're all going to meet back up in that great cafe in the sky. And we're going to be laughing or discussing or challenging each other about all of these decisions that we made in this lifetime. Because this is the illusion. This isn't the reality. So this is so important, right? A blessing from the light, that all the experiences that we have, the ebbs and the flows as they come and they go through us, are all for learning. Especially, I want to, hey, wow, I'm going to talk about this here really quickly. I actually, the other day, was inspired by someone who's very close to me about narcissistic relationships. I've been through two. They both been different types of narcissistic people. And it really like puts a hole in your heart when you're dealing with someone who is so conniving and manipulating, and you can't even imagine that somebody would treat somebody like that. It's all about control and their lack of control in their life. And yet we learn from that experience and we heal from that experience as well. It develops us, but we can't stoop down to their level, right? Excuse me, which I'm working on still, right? I'm getting better at the asshole. I'm telling you, I'm getting better at the asshole. But that's not coming from my relationship with my ex. That's coming from my inner being, right? I have to take responsibility for my choices because we know what is right for us. We don't always listen to that. And again, I didn't listen to it, but it was a lesson that I got to experience because it was something my soul needed to learn, is all I can say. I can't say it's right or wrong. It is what it is. We learn from that. And I'm derailed again. Oh, anyway, by that experience, our conversation that I had, I actually developed a journal, which is basically it's an affirmation, step by step. What did you learn journal? So it's an affirmation, 30-day affirmation book with the affirmation and a step that you can take in that day to be aware of how you can change or what you can control or what can you do to heal or how can you be more loving to yourself. And then what was the inspiration and what was your lesson that you learned that day? I've actually reached out to Amazon yesterday to see about publishing it that way. I'm not sure how I'm going to get this out, but it was definitely inspired by this conversation I had with this person, because we all feel that way, no matter what relationship you're in or what the situation is. Sometimes we can feel alone, or we can feel like we're not moving forward, or we're not growing, or we're being held back, or the universe is doing this to us. A lot of times we feel that way. But this is such a beautiful statement, right? It's to remember that you're dearly loved and more than you can possibly imagine, which I don't even know if we could wrap our head around that. And yet we come into these situations in our life that can take us off kilter, but we need to find everything we can to get back onto kilter, to get back into center, and know that this is the truth, that you are truly loved and that you are truly supported. And whatever we can do in our minds to change that narrative, the dialogue that we have going, that we could change that dialogue into a more positive, that's the best thing that we can do to move forward, because we're not going to change the past. We can be angry. We can be frustrated. We could be mad. We could be hateful. We can be whatever. I mean, I've gone through all the emotions, depressed, angry at myself, angry at the world, angry at that asshole. But it all comes back to ourself and how we adjust and change our mindset. That's the important thing. And it's having that compassion and love with self. That's the message for today. A universe of love and light surrounds you and shows you with blessings the ebbs and the flows of your heart. That's the heart message for today. All right. I hope this was helpful. So thank you for listening. Comments, questions, please put it in the chat, and I'll see you next time. Bye.